Yes, so good day, colleagues. Um, I'd like to take this opportunity to say welcome again to you. We are 2 weeks into the course, and I think it's time to make some statements about what my expectations are in the course and maybe talk a little bit about what you would see when you log on to the course. It isn't late in coming because I just wanted to get a little idea of how much you can interact with the space. Right, so this page is your landing page. So when you get on here, it tells you the title of the course, and it also has the weeks that we expect to cover going ahead. We've already covered week 1, the teacher as a decision maker. You are now interacting and engaging with the material for week 2, knowing your students. Soon we'd look at the fundamentals of planning, teacher-centered, student-centered instructional strategies, strategies that promote learning and understanding, classroom management, assessing student performance, and then we're going to put all of that together. So these are the weeks going forward. Week 1, most of you have already engaged in the material in week 1. And maybe I can just make some statements here as to how that engagement went. The reflections are your personal thoughts as you reflect. Most of you have already done that. And your self-portrait as well. You're not really required to respond to another person's self-portrait. I would want to take the opportunity here to say on the forum you can respond directly. You can type directly in the forum so that your colleagues can interact with it rather than upload a Word document. I prefer that you type directly there in the forum. So if, however, you uploaded a Word document, then we would all be able to see it and download it and stuff. But I would prefer if you would comment directly there so that your colleagues could reply when asked to. The character strengths, which was another item that you had to take part in. Again, most of you have done it, and I hope the experience was revealing to you. And we will talk a little bit about that as we progress into the course. Your reaction to the character strengths, that will be, or you can in fact submit a Word document here for this one so that I can get and read it. I will download it and read it. So some of you have already done that. There are in fact some people who did not get a chance to do that. So I'm encouraging you to not let the things back up, but try to be on time. So there are just 4 people who still haven't submitted out of the 14 participants. So I encourage you to do that as soon as possible. So coming back to the course, I want to take us now and maybe walk us through the course outline. So this is our course outline here. You're required to, sorry for this mistake, I'll correct it, ONLINE. I know as teachers, spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes jump out at us. So it's disturbing me as much as it is disturbing you. So I will correct it. So moving on. So read the course description. It's advised that you access and engage with the course information at least 3 times a week. So I would, again, to benefit from the fluidity of the course itself and the whole idea of online learning, you have to be there as often as you can. Some people check it every day of the week. Others, because of their schedule, they can't. So they come on a little less. But coming on 1 time a week, that will not be good because you would find yourselves things backing up for you. Right, so you can go through the purpose of the course. These are some of the course goals and some of our learning outcomes. I imagine most of you would have already done that. The textbook by Burden and Bird, Methods for Effective Teaching, the 7th edition. The textbook is now in its 8th edition, but I would be using the 7th edition. Some of you have indicated you have the 6th. That's okay. We will see how we can synchronize everything together. So your weekly posts and activities, you will see them here. You can read ahead on your assignments, and you can begin to think about your responses as it moves forward. So as we progress, I will include what that activity or assignment will be. Okay. Now, someone had a query about where to upload your stuff. I will prefer if assignments are uploaded directly to Moodle and not emailed to me, because I may miss the assignments in the email, but when I check on Moodle, I would want to see that it is there. So as much as possible, let's not email assignments directly to me, unless you are in fact getting some technical problems to upload it to Moodle. So looking at our assessment goals, this is what your final grade will be determined by. Your attendance and participation, that's 15%. Now, Moodle tracks every time you log on and log off and the duration. So the teacher has an idea of how often you come on and how long you stayed on. And so that will determine what percent of 15% you will get for attendance and participation. Participation involves interacting with your colleagues when asked to do so. There are some posts that I will indicate that you're not expected to interact, but I see some people have interacted, even though I said it's not required. But that is good. You can engage each other in the discussions, but where indicated, you must interact. Your teaching portfolio, I will say a little bit more on that. That is 40%. So that carries the most, it's more heavily weighted, micro teaching and the reflective activity. All right. Now, since I talked about what is expected in attendance and participation, I'll just jump to the portfolio. In your portfolio, and a sample will be uploaded soon for you to see what is expected in your portfolio. It will include an introduction. In the introduction, you'd introduce yourself. You would describe the context in which you teach. You would describe the school and different things by way of introduction. Your philosophy statement, again, your statement should be about a paragraph or two that describes your philosophy for teaching, why you are involved in this activity called teaching. The contextual factors, I will again explain these, but just quickly, the contextual factors will involve, and this is covered in week 2, the context in which you teach, and it's spelled out there. A unit of work, you are to choose any unit from any period. It doesn't have to be for this term. If it's for this term, that will make it easier, but what you are doing for the term, for a unit, and include it as well. And that unit may be 10 lessons, but you can include sample lesson plans for a minimum of 5 lessons. And the next item is your micro teaching. Now we would employ the use of technology here, and you are to record yourself teaching a class for no more than 15 to 20 minutes. And when we cover chapter 8, some of the issues that relates to classroom management and beginning the class and ending the class and so on, that is what we'll be looking for. Of course, it's 15 to 20 minutes, so it's a micro lesson. At the secondary level, I don't think there's any classes that's as short, but we would be looking for some things as you start the lesson. And your reflective activity is each of these items here, from A to G, you are to come up with an original quote. Now, your original quote may or may not be influenced by things that you have read, things that you have seen, things that you have experienced. But after each class, think about something that you would want to capture the lesson in one quote, a sentence or two, and you're to write that quote down. Now, the query one student had was as it relates to where should they upload these original quotes. Now, each quote becomes due on the Friday of each week. So quote 1 would have been due on Friday the 13th. Quote 2 is due today, as I'm making this video today, but Friday the 20th, and so on. Now, I will create a space for us to upload that, and I'm very glad that person raised that because I didn't create that space just yet. But I'll create a space for you to upload your quotes, and so that as they become due, you would put them there. So it will be the button you would see would look like the one that you saw in week 1 for assignment this year. So this is assignments that are to be handed in. So each week we'll have one of these where you can hand in your quote. So I hope that cleared up some things for some people, and I look forward to a very interesting and informative interaction. Soon we would try to do what Moodle refers to as a big button, and that is we will try to meet in real time. If you can indicate what day would be a good day for you to meet, I'm thinking Sundays, but I want to be as open to your suggestions as well as to what day of the week we can meet in real time and what time on that day. So you can probably email me with your feedback as to what day of the week it's available for us to meet in real time so that we can extend the discussion as we go along. So I look forward to your feedback. I look forward to your experiences, your sharing, your reflections, and I wish you all the best for the next weeks ahead.